just warming up, literally and physically and spiritually. We will begin in just a moment or two. Thank you for joining us virtually and in person.
I think we'll start right with the brachot. We'll keep the nigunim for later.
For sure. So we're going to rise, if we can, for our morning gratitudes, our Birkot HaShachar, page 103. You can either recite the blessing with us or just give a nice hearty amen after we've offered the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sachvivina le'avchin ben yom uvein laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorin.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kifufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzadei kaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzorki.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten layav koach. Baruch atah Adonai. Utneinu hayom v'chol yom l'chein l'chesed l'rachamim b'einecha u'v'einei choroinu v'tikmalenu chasadim tovim. Baruch atah Adonai gomel chasadim tovim li'amo Yisrael.
Amen. You may be seated.
So we have the Psalm on 119 for Shmini Atzeret. Since this seems to be Simchas Torah / we say everything for Shmini Atzeret anyway, should we do that one?
I would love to. I was just debating that in my head. So let's honor Shmini Atzeret. It's Psalm 65 on page 119.
Hayom Yom Hashmini Chag Atzeret Hazeh, and it's also Simchas Torah. B'shebo Omrim Lamanatseach Mizmor LeDavid Shir Lecha Dumion Mitzion. Vayir Yoshvegen. Yitar Tashana Tovatecha. Lavshu Charim Atzon V'Amakim Yatfu Var Yidrau Af Yashiru.
On the next page, 120, we have Psalm 30.
Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid. הפכת מסבירי למחולי, פיתחת שקי ותצרני שמחה, למען יזמרך כבוד ולא ידום, אדוני אלוהי לעולם מודך.
I invite all those who are saying Kaddish Yatom to rise if they can. We're on page 121. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen.
Amen.
We join together on page 122, Baruch She'amar, and we stand if we can for this one too.
Baruch She'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Oseh Bereshit, Baruch Omer v'yoseh, Baruch Gozer Umkayim, Baruch Merachem al ha'aretz, Baruch Merachem al ha'briot, Baruch Mishalem Sachar Tov Lireah, Baruch Haylad v'Kayim Lanetzach, Baruch Podeh U'Matzil, Baruch Shemo. Baruch Atah L'Olam. Yachid Chei Olamim, Melech Mishubach Umforadeh Shemo Gadol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Melech Meula Batishbachot.
Please be seated. We'll continue on page 136, Ashrei.
Ashrei Ushvei V'techa Ujalalu Chasela, Ashrei Shokach Alo, Ashrei Shadonai Elohav. Tila LaDavid Aramim Chalal. טוב, אני לא כל ברוחמה וכל מעשיו ידעוך, אני כל מעשיך וצידך יברכוך, כבוד מלכות חיים אלו. פותח את ידיך, משביע לכו, חי רצון, צדיק רנם. תהילת אדוני ידבר פי, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד, ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah. You know what, Rabbi Yarkin? In honor of Simchat's Torah, we're going to skip straight to 141.
I love it, because there'll be plenty of additional singing later on in the service. Stay tuned.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, El Bekodshor, hallelujah, Brikia Uzor, hallelujah, Bigvurotav, hallelujah, Kirov, good Lord, hallelujah, Betek HaShofar, hallelujah, Beneva V'chinor, hallelujah, Betofu Machol, hallelujah, Beminim Ve'ugav, hallelujah, Betzilzalei Shama, hallelujah, Betzilzalei Trua, Kol Anshama Te'alelia, hallelujah, Kol Anshama Te'alelia, hallelujah, Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'Amen, Baruch Adonai Mitzvah. וברוך שם כבודו לעולם, וימלך כבודו את כל הארץ, אמן ואמן.
Page 145.
נשמת כל חי, תברך את שמך אדוני אלוהינו, ברוך כל בשר תפארת שמים, זרעים מגן תמיד. ילווינו מלא שיר הקיים, ושנינו רינה כמון גלה ושפתתים. אין אנחנו מספיקים להודות לך, אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו בגבולותינו. מי יתמלך ומי ישמלך ומי יערך לך האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ נעללך ונשבחך ונפארך ונברך את שם קודשך כאמור לדוד ברכי נפשי את אדוני וכל קרבי את שם קודשו.
On the top of page 147, we have our declaration that it is the festival. So we start with Ha'el b'tatzumot uzecha.
Ha'el b'tatzumot uzecha Hagadol b'chevod shemecha Hagibor lanetzach v'hanora b'norotecha המלך היושב על כיסא רם ונישא שוכן עד מרום וקדוש שמו וכתוב ובקרב קדושים תתקדש ובמקהלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל ברינה יתפרשם על קולי ושירות ותשבחות דוד בן ישי עבדך משיחך ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו אל המלך הגדול ברכות והודות מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך אלוהי העולמים יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ויאמר דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם וליומי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן ויעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
Page 149, it's the Baruch Hu, and if you're on campus with us, we can see the sun easterly, so we're facing this way.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvorei choshech Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol.
Please feel free to sit down again, and we turn to page 152 for festivals occurring on weekdays.
המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים ובטוב ומחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה בראשית מרבו מזל אל ברוך גדול דייך נופל זרעך עמת ויצר כבוד לשמם תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך והמאורע שעשית יפרוך הסלע תתברך צורנו מלכנו וגואלנו בורא קדושים ומברכים ומשבחים ומפארים ומריצים ומקדישים וממליכים את שם האל המלך הגדול הגיבור והנורא הקדוש וכולם מקבלים עליהם
We're in the middle of page 153.
להקדיש ליוצרם בנחת רוח בשפה ברורה ונימה קדושה כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו ואופנים וחיות הקודש ברעש גדול מן השאים לעומת צרפים לעומתם משבחים ואומרים ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו לאל ברוך נעימות תיתנו למלך המחדש בטובו בכל יום תמיד מעשה בראשית כאמור ליוסרים גדולים אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות אהבה רבה אהבתנו.
We're now on page 154, those blessings before the Shema.
ואבינו לשלום ירבה כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו כממיעוט לארצנו כי אל פועל ישועות אתה ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך ויחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה Shema Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, והיה.
The second and third paragraphs of the Shema are on page 156. Feel free to give those seats little kisses when we get there.
Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. לדור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים וחיסון נכון ומלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיימת ודור החיים על הראשונים אל האחרונים דבר טוב וקיים לעולם ועד. פודנו מצילנו מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך. עזרת אבותינו ואמותינו, אתה הוא מעולם, מגן ומושיע לבניהם האחרונים בכל דורנו. אשרי איש ישמע למצוותיך ותורתך דברך ישים על ליבו, אמונתך על עמך. רמדני סבנו ובנו רמש פלגים. תהילות לאל עליון, ברוך הוא ומבורך, משה ומרים ובני ישראל, לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ויאמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופתחנו ממך, יהודה וישראל. גואלנו, אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We're going to turn a few hundred pages now to page 306 for our festival, Shacharit Amidah, and the reminder that the festival is Simchat Torah. So we'll daven our first opening blessings and the Kedusha out loud together, and then you're on your own, and you'll get to choose the Chag Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah, that little bit when we get there. You'll see what I mean. Just keep in mind, Simchat Torah, Simchat Torah. But for now, page 306, and those of us who are on campus, I invite you please to turn to face east, if you can, just for now. Thank you. It's a beautiful sight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Agadol, Hagibor ve'Anora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Goel Ibnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo V'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Foked U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham U'Foked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayim Eitim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'Gevurot U'Mido Melach Melech Memit U'Mechayem U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'Ne'eman Atah L'Chayot Meitim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMeitim Nekadesh et Shimcha Ba'olam Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shemei marom kakatuv vayad neviecha v'kara zeh el zeh v'yamar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot Melech kol haaretz kevodo Az b'kol Rash Gadol Adir v'chazak mashmi'im kol Mitnaseim le'umat serafim le'umatam Baruch Yomeru Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkom Chamalkeinu Tofia V'timloch aleinu ki mechakim Anachnu lach Matai timloch b'tzion B'karov b'yameinu Le'olam va'ed tishkon Titkada v'titkadash B'toch Yerushalayim ircha Ledor vador Ulenetzach netzachim Ve'einenu tirena Malchutecha Kadavar ha'amur B'shirei uzecha Al yedei David Mashiach tzidkecha yimloch
Adonai leolam Elohayich Tzion ledor vador Hallelujah.
Yimloch Adonai leolam Elohayich tzidkecha ledor vador Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid godlecha ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לאמוש לעולם ועד כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש אתה ברכתנו מכל עמים ואהבתנו ורצית בנו יום השמיני חג העצרת הזה זמן שמחתנו מקרא קודש זה יציאת מצרים השמיני חג העצרת הזה זוכרים ועשיינו אדוני אלוהינו את ברכת מועדך לחיים Shalom.
If you are still davening your Amidah, please prioritize that. Everyone else, we will do our Kaddish Shalem, I believe. And then we are on to Hallel, page 316.
I think it's just Hallel straight.
Oh, even better. Right, so please rise if you can. Hallel, page 316. Cantor Aronoff will offer the Hallel opening blessing, and we will then repeat it and proceed with all of our lovely Hallelujah moments.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et hallel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et hallel.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, Avdei Adonai, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Yehi Shem Adonai, Baruch Mikimi me'afar dal me'ashpot yarim evion leoshivi im nedivei amo moshivi akeret habayit em abanim semecha hallelujah B'tzeit Yisrael miMitzrayim Beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez Hayta Yehuda lekodsho Yisrael mamshelotav Hayam ra'am vayanos Hayarden Yisov le'achor Harim rakedu che'elim Gevahot kivnei tzon Malecha hayam Kitanu Hayarden Tisov le'achor Harim Tirkedu che'elim Gevot Kivnei tzon Milifnei Adon Chuli aretz Milifnei Eloach Yaakov Haovchi Hatzur Agamayim Chalamish Lemainor Mayim Lolanu Adonai Lolanu Ki L'Shimcha Ten Kavod.
We're continuing on page 317.
Yisrael betach b'Adonai Esram u'maginam hu Beit Aharon bitchu b'Adonai Esram u'maginam hu Yirei Adonai bitchu b'Adonai Esram u'maginam hu Adonai zecharanu yevarech et Beit Yisrael
Yevarech et Beit Aharon
Yevarech Yirei Adonai Aktanim im Agdolim Yosef Adonai Alechem v'abneichem Beruchim atem l'Adonai Oseh shamayim va'aretz Shamayim l'Adonai V'ha'aretz natan livnei Adam Lo hametim yahaleluya V'lo kol yodei duhuma V'anachnu nevarech Yah Me'ata v'ad olam Me'ata v'ad olam Hallelujah Ahavti ki yishma Adonai et koli tachanunai.
Next page.
Et halech lifnei Adonai be'artzot hachayim He'emanti ki adaber אני עניתי מאוד, האמנתי כי אדבר. אני עניתי מאוד, אני אמרתי בחופשי, כל האדם כוזב. מה אשיב אדוני כל תגמולוי עלי כוס ישועת הסבא שלי.
Bottom of page 318.
לך אזבח זבח תודה ובשם אדוני אקרא נדרי לאדוני השלם נגדנה לכל אמור בחצרות בית אדוני בתוככי ירושלים בחצרות בית אדוני בתוככי ירושלים הללויה 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 הללו את אדוני כל גויים, שבחוהו כל האומים, כי גבר עלינו חסדו, באמת אדוני לעולם. הללויה. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמר נא ישראל, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמר נא ישראל, כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו, לעולם חסדו. יאמרו נא בית אהרון, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמרו נא בית אהרון, כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו, לעולם חסדו. יאמרו נא יראי אדוני, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמרו נא יראי אדוני, כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. כי לעולם חסדו, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו, לעולם חסדו. מרמי צר קראתי ענן, ובמרחביה, אדוני לי לא ירמה יעשה לי אדם. עוזי וזימניון לישועה, כל רינה וישועה מולי צדיקים. פיתחו לי שערי צדק, אבובם הודיה, זה אשר לאדוני, צדיקים יבואו בו. עודך כי ענית לי, ותהי לי לישועה. עודך כי ענית לי, ותהי לי לישועה. אבן מסור הבונים, הייתה לראש פינה. אבן מסור הבונים, הייתה לראש פינה. מאת אדוני הייתה זאת, היא נפלאת בעינינו. מאת אדוני הייתה זאת, היא נפלאת בעינינו. זה היום עשה אדוני, נגילה ונשמחה בו, זה היום עשה אדוני. נגילה ונשמחה בו, אנ אדוני הושיענה.
An Adonai Hoshiana.
אנ אדוני הושיענה.
An Adonai Hoshiana.
אנ אדוני הצליחנה.
Ana Adonai Hatzlichana.
אנ אדוני הצליחנה.
Ana Adonai Hatzlichana.
ברוך הבא בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני. ברוך הבא בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני. אל אדוני ויער לנו, ישרו חג באותים עד קרנות המזבח. אל אדוני ויער לנו, ישרו חג באותים עד קרנות המזבח. אלי אתה והודך, אלוהי הרוממך. אלי אתה והודך, אלוהי הרוממך. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. יהללוך אדוני אלוהינו כל מעשיך.
Page 321, our final Hallel blessing and then Kaddish Shalem.
כי לך טוב להודות ולשמך נועל לזמר, כי מעולם ועד עולם אתה אל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מעולל בתשבחו.
Amen.
יקרא ויקרא שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון ובימיכון ובחי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו. אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי המיה. יתברך. יתברך, וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם מן השא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה. בריחו לעילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בימה ויאמרו.
Amen.
תתקבל צלותון ובאותון לכל ישראל, קודם אבוהן וישמעיה ויאמרו.
Amen.
יהי שלמה רבה מן שמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו. Amen.
Yesha Kohech Kanta Eranoff for Shacharit and Hallel. We are going to have our special insertion now for Simchat Torah. It is the Hakafot. So we're going to turn to page 204. And there's going to be a little bit of call and responses. We won't do every verse, but Kant Aronoff will select those greatest hits, those lines that have been ingrained upon you even as a Jewish child.
402.
Page 402.
400 and not 2. Wait a second. Where is it?
That's Atah Harita.
Yeah, 402.
402. It's my one job to call correct page numbers.
It's not your one job. Another job of yours is to sing beautiful harmony with me, and I thank you so much for that. It's just such a joy and a pleasure to do Hallel with you and all sorts of other things. It just brings joy to my heart. So since we're talking about Simcha on Simcha's Torah, it is my Simcha.
The joy of us singing together,
Yes.
biyachad.
So, so on page 402, before we take the Torahs, we're going to start with Atah Harita. And I don't know, we'll see how many we do here. Just sort of wing this here. You can sit for this page. You'll stand for the next page. But I'm going to revert to, we did this last night too, to a practice that we had here in the shul years ago. And I don't want to embarrass anybody. So if I call on somebody who doesn't want to read Hebrew, just read English. And I would say an English line for whatever I say. But so it's a participatory thing. We have a leader, And then everybody repeats the line. These are all lines from the Tanakh, from the Bible. And you can all see in the English and read the wonderful comments on the sides of the page about this, this tradition to begin the Hakafot with these lines, with these biblical lines. I will start with this tune. Ata hareta ladat, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, ein od milvado. You repeat it.
Ata hareta ladat, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, ein od milvado.
Let me model the next line for you also. Le'oseh niflaot gedolot levado, ki le'olam chasto.
Le'oseh niflaot gedolot levado, ki le'olam chasto.
Do I have any volunteers for the next line? Joette, please do the next line. Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha. How about in the English? May Adonai's glory be eternal. Anybody in English? Sure, go ahead. May Adonai's glory be eternal. May Adonai find joy with creation. How about Yehi Shem Adonai Mevorach? Anybody? Stephen, was that a yes? Yehi Shem Adonai Mevorach. Me'ata v'ad olam. How about the English? May Adonai our God be with us. Anybody English? It's your first language, people. Go ahead, Bridget. Beautiful. Maybe you at home couldn't hear her, but she was terrific. May Adonai, our God, be with us, as was true of our ancestors, never deserting us and never leaving us. How about the next one in English, too? And you shall say. Anybody else in their native tongue? Ernie, go ahead. That we may acknowledge. Oh, Gord, you can join my choir. And you shall say, deliver us, God of our deliverance. Gather us and rescue us from amidst the nations, that we may acknowledge your holy name and bow in homage to you. Mel, I'm going to pick you. Adonai Melech. We're on 3 lines up, everybody. It's 3 lines from the bottom of the page. Terrific. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed. Julie, would you like to do Adonai Os Li'amo Yitain? Adonai Os Li'amo Yitain, Adonai Yevarech et Amo V'Shalom, Vayiyuna Amarenu L'Ratzon, Lifnei Adon Kol.
Vayiyuna Amarenu L'Ratzon, Lifnei Adon Kol.
We now are going to open the Aron, so everyone please rise if you're able. All I have to do is remove the chair. Okay, now it's not opening.
So we're now on page 403, Vayehi bin Soah Ha'aron.
Vayehi bin Soah Ha'aron, Vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha. Everyone. Vayehi bin Soah Ha'aron, Vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha. Kuma Adonai limnuchatecha, atava aronu zecha. Kuma Adonai limnuchatecha, atava aron uzecha. Kohanecha yilbashu tzedek, v'chasidecha yiranenu. Ba'avur David avdecha, al tashev pnei Mashiachecha. On that day it will be said, this is our God in whom we placed our hope and who has come to our rescue. This is Adonai in whom we placed our hope. Let us rejoice and be glad in God's deliverance.
On this day it will be said, this is our God, in whom we placed our hope and who has come to our rescue. This is Adonai, in whom we placed our hope. Let us rejoice and be glad in God's deliverance.
Malchutcha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador.
Malchutcha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai b'Yerushalayim.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'dvar Adonai mirushalayim.
Avarachamim, heitiva v'irtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim.
Av harachamim, heitiva v'irtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot
Ki
Yerushalayim.
v'cha levad batachnu, melech el ram v'nisa, Adon olamim.
Ki v'cha levad batachnu, melech el ram v'nisa, Adon olamim.
And now it's time for Hakafot.
We're going to have some guests in a few minutes, and just because it takes, preschoolers about 35 minutes to walk 15 feet. So we're not sure exactly when they're going to be here, but they're going to be coming. Now, because of the potting, we need to keep them set in a way kind of separate. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to put them over there by the benches and have them seated. But when they come in, if we're in the middle of a hakafah, we may just pause so that we know when inadvertently trips over a spot. Okay? I just want to put a pause in the hakafah, and then we'll say, if you're mid like dance, you can stay like that. So anyway, that's just a little pragmatic thing. But the kids are going to be joining us, and yes, okay, great. So we are beginning the hakafot. Are they okay? So why don't we do one, or why don't we start and then we can.
Okay, so just to let everybody know, we've got a Torah there and there. Those two Torahs are the lighter Torahs. And then we've got a Torah there and there. Those two Torahs are the not quite as light, but really not that heavy Torahs. And we ask that you, one person at a time or family unit, whatever it is, dance with the Torah for one hakafah, or you can trade off if you want to. But see over here how we've got a blue dancing zone? Stay within the dancing zone. It was removed from this area over here, but it's just like a little area right in front of the table. Don't go all over the place. You're going to dance with the Torah in your little place, as demonstrated so beautifully by Rabbi Yarkin. And then when you're done dancing, don't hand it off to the next person. Put it down on the table. We're going to take out these Torahs here from the Aron, and people can dance. We're going to put one over here. We'll put the Maftir Torah. Maftir Torah will go over here. And then the other two will lie on this table. And if somebody wants to come up and dance with them, the dancing zone will be right by the Amud for those Torahs. And so we are going to start, if you would like to go stand near a Torah, we are going to start with the Hakafot on
Page 404, the first Hakafah.
All right, so we're going to start with this while you're getting out the Torahs. Hold on one moment. One moment. Almost there. Okay.
And please, at all times, feel free to sing, to just hum, to clap. Even if you're not a dancer, you can express the joy somehow in your body and your soul for this.
Go ahead. Ana Adonai, Hoshiana.
Hoshiana. Save
Ana
us.
Adonai, Hatzlichana.
Hatzlichana.
Ana Adonai, Aneinu, V'yom Koreinu.
Anenu. Anenu.
Anenu, V'yom Koreinu. Anenu, 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 V'yom Koreinu. Here's the first Hakafa text. Elohei Haruchot, Hoshiana.
Hoshiana.
Bochen Levavot, Hatzlichana.
Hatzlichana.
Goel Chazakaneinu, Biyom Koreinu. Anenu, 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 Biyom Koreinu. Anenu, 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 Biyom Koreinu. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udva Hashem Yerushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udvar Hashem
Yerushalayim.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amor, Torah le'amor Yisrael. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amor Yisrael. Sisu v'simchu, sisu v'simchu. Hold on one second, we're going to put this up. Sisu v'simchu, v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod laHaTorah. Sisu v'simchu, v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod laHaTorah. Sisu v'simchu, v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod laHaTorah. Sisu v'simchu, v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod laTorah. Sisu v'simchu, v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod laTorah. Sisu v'simchu, v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod laTorah.
So you can all just, if you want to be seated, friends from the preschool. Chag Sameach, everybody. Could someone tell me, what do they see that's interesting to them today? What's interesting that they see today? Torahs. There's Torahs here. There's Torahs there. There's Torahs everywhere. Why do we have all of our Torahs out? And why are we dancing with the Torahs? Because today is a very special day. And you're here for a very, very special reason. Today, we finish the Torah. The Torah has 5 books. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Well, yes, 5. Some say that Joshua should have been included. Anyway. The Torah has 5 books in it. And today we finished that 5th book of the Torah. And you know what we do after we finish the book? Do we just put the Torah away and say, forget about it. I'm going to read Harry Potter. No, what you do is you start the Torah right from the beginning. And that's what we're going to do. But before we finish it and then we start it, what we're going to do is we're going to dance with it. And we need your help to dance with the Torah. Who do you think can help us dance with the Torah? Do you think, ladies and gentlemen of Congregation Adat Ariel, even though that's not the official name, but I almost said my old synagogue's name there, do you think that we can have some help dancing with the Torahs? Let's hear some round of applause. All right, friends, what we need from the preschool is maybe we can have our teachers help. Let's make one big circle, but let's keep it over here, a big circle. And we are going to dance with the Torahs. Are you ready, Cantor Aronoff? Are you ready, Rabbi Yarkin?
So ready!
Are you ready, ECC? Let's party!
We are at the second hakafa. That's the bottom of page 404. Dover tzedakot, Hoshia.
Dover tzedakot, Hoshiana.
Hoshiana.
Hadur bilvusho, Hatzlichana.
Hatzlichana.
Vatik v'chasiranenu, Biyom koreinu, anenu, 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 biyom koreinu, anenu, 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 biyom koreinu, anenu, anenu, biyom koreinu, anenu, 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 biyom koreinu. Hoshia et, hold on 1 second, one more time. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachlatecha, urem, 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 urem v'nasem, urem v'nasem at ha'olam. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachlatecha, urem, 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 urem v'nasem, urem v'nasem at ha'olam. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachlatecha, urem, 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 urem v'nasem, urem v'nasem at ha'olam. Ivdu, 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 ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Ivdu, 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 ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav, lefanav birnana. Bo lefanav birnana. Bo lefanav, lefanav birnana. Bo lefanav birnana. Keep moving. We're going to move to the third hakafa. Zach ve'yashar, Hoshiana. Everybody, Hoshiana. Chomel dalim, Hatzlichana.
Hatzlichana.
Tovu meitiv anenu, biyom koreinu.
Anenu, 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 biyom koreinu. Anenu, 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 biyom koreinu.
We're going to skip Rabbi Yarkin to Ufaratzta and Melech, David Melech Yisrael. Here we go. And Ufaratzta, 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 Yamava Kedma, Tzafona Vanegba. Ufaratzta, 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 Yamava Kedma, Tzafona Vanegba. Ufaratzta, Yamava Kedma.
Ufaratzta,
Tzafona Vanegba. Ufaratzta, 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 Yamava Kedma, Tzafona Vanegba, Yamava Kedma, Tzafona Vanegba. David, David,
Melech Yisrael.
Chai,
Chai,
V'Kayam, David Melech Yisrael. Chai, Chai, V'Kayam, David Melech Yisrael.
Chai, Chai,
One more time. David Melech Yisrael. Chai, Chai, V'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael. Chai, Chai, V'Kayam.
David Melech Yisrael.
Chai, Chai, V'Kayam. Yes. The what? I don't know any Shabbat dinosaur. I don't know it, but I do know Torah Tzivalanu Moshe. Is that a good one? Let's do the fourth hakafa. Yodea machshavot. Everybody. Hoshiana. Go.
Hoshiana.
Abir v'naor. Hatzlichana.
Hatzlichana.
Lo v'tzedakot anenu. Biyom koreinu. Anenu. 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 Biyom koreinu.
Anenu.
Anenu. Anenu. Biyom koreinu. Hold on. Torah, 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 Torah. Siva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah. Siva lanu Moshe. Torah, Torah,
Torah,
Torah, Torah. Siva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva
lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah,
Torah, tziva lanu Moshe. Ose shalom bimromav. Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru imru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom, clap clap. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, clap clap. Yase shalom,
oy vey. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Yase
shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Fifth hakafa. Melech olamim. We're on to 405. Hoshiana. Everybody.
Hoshiana.
Naor ve'adir. Hatzlichana.
Hatzlichana.
Somech noflim aneinu. V'yom koreinu, anenu, 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 v'yom koreinu, anenu, 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 v'yom koreinu, anenu, anenu, v'yom koreinu, ay, 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 anenu, anenu, v'yom koreinu. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim,
Yismechu hashamayim. V'tagel haaretz.
Yiramayam, oy vey, Yiramayam, ha, Yiramayam, umelo, Yiramayam, Yiramayam,
Hayam.
Yiramayam, umelo, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim,
Ha'olam.
ha'olam omed, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Ala Torah,
Torah.
Ala Avodah,
That's work.
V'al Gemilut Chasadim, ala Torah,
Torah,
Ve'ala avodah,
service,
Ve'al gemilut hasadim. Sixth hakafa, Ozer dalim Oshiana,
Hoshiana,
Podeh umatzil hatzlichana,
Hatzlichana,
Sur olamim anenu, Biyom koreinu, anenu, anenu. Anenu v'yom koreinu, anenu, anenu, anenu v'yom koreinu. Hold on a second. Elech hamda libi, chusana v'yal natitalem. Elech hamda, hamda libi, chusana v'yal natitalem. Elech hamda, hamda libi, chusana v'yal natitalem.
Elech hamda libi,
Elech hamda libi,
al natitalem,
chusana v'yal natitalem. Hamda, hamda libi, chusana v'yal natitalem. Elech hamda, hamda libi, chusana v'yal natitalem. Ya la la ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la. Ay la la ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la. Ya la la ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la. Ay la la ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la. Whoa, ay 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 ay. Ay, nine, 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 nine. Ay, nine, nine. Lie, 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 lie.
We're still on the 405 because we know there's always so much traffic there. But we are on the 7th.
The last hakafa.
It's a double. It's a double.
Whoops. Kadosh v'nora. Hoshiana,
Hoshiana,
Rachum v'chanun, Hatzlichana,
Hatzlichana,
Shomer abritanenu v'yom koreinu, Tomech temibim, Hoshiana,
Hoshiana,
Takif la'ad, Hatzlichana,
Hatzlichana,
Tamim b'masav anenu v'yom koreinu, anenu, anenu, anenu v'yom koreinu, anenu,
Anenu, Anenu, Biyom Koreinu, Anenu, 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 Biyom Koreinu, Anenu, Anenu, Anenu,
Biyom koreinu. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la I la 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 ya la 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 ya na 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 na 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 ושמחת בחגך והיית אך שמח 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 אי לי 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 אי לי לי אי לי לי אי לי לי אי לי נה 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 אי לי לי אי לי נה נה אי לי לה 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 אי לי 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 whoops La 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 la.
Na 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 na.
Whoa,
Whoa, na 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 na. Whoa, whoa, na 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 na. Whoa, whoa, na 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 na. Whoa, whoa, na 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 na.
So we've come to the end of our hakafot. In order to put all the Torahs away, and what are the kids going to...
What we're going to do is we're going to say that our preschool friends will see you soon. And so just so you all should know, I'm going to be leaving here a little bit early, where we're going to unroll a Torah for them and show them the actual Torah. So it's not so hi friends. So it's not just a dancing, but there's an illustrated Torah that we go over, as well as a real Torah, and I'm going to explain it to them in just a little bit. So they snuck out of here early.
So on their way out, let's sing. Eitz Chaim Hila Machazikim Bavetomcheha Meushar Eitz Chaim
Hila Machazikim Bavetomcheha Meushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is a tree of life to them who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Do 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 do. Shalom, shalom. It is a tree. Shalom, shalom. It's not a bush. Shalom, shalom. The tree of life.
Shalom, 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 shalom. Okay, I'm going to clear my stuff away, and we're going to call Saul. He's going to read from the first Torah. That way we can what? Yeah. So we're gonna start to read Torah.
Said that. I also need to get.
Unless they want to, Rabbi, unless they want to stay and hear the Torah being read. Okay. Do you guys get a chumash so you can follow? And we're going to need somebody who is willing to hold a Torah. This is the first Torah. This is the second Torah. Who's willing to sit and hold a Torah? Okay. Judy. Somewhere in the first row. Sit in the shade. Watch out. Here's a rabbi for you. Here's a rabbi for the other side. Here's a paper for me. Here. I had a white cloth out here. Rabbi Schuldenfrei, would you like to do the honor of figuring out who's going to come for each aliyah, like except for the Mets fans?
This is what we're going to do. So the goal here is to have everyone have
Rabbi,
aliyah.
use a microphone, otherwise they can't hear you virtually.
So the goal here is to have, for everyone to have an aliyah within, we have a fifth, five is assigned, right? Cantor?
No, we don't have anything assigned except for the maftir.
Except for the
We
maftir.
don't have Chatan Torah or Chatan Reshit assigned.
Okay, so what we're going to do for the first aliyah, your goal is to get an aliyah, and you may end up with more than one aliyah, but don't get greedy. Okay, so for the first aliyah, we're going to go according to. I admit the Mets didn't have a great year, so we're gonna do this Dodger style. Okay, is that fair? So, right, exactly. No, we'll start with the last aliyah. That would be the Mets finishing in last place. So if your favorite, we're going to go by favorite Dodgers. And here are your selections. Help me along the way here, Mel. We're doing this on the spot. Okay. Well, of course, we got to, maybe Sandy Koufax will be like the Chatan Bereshit. Okay, so we'll do, help me out here. We'll do Duke Snyder. Okay, Duke Snyder, Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser, Jackie Robinson, thank you. That's 4, and I don't remember the order. Don Drysdale, and then we need one more. No, we need to say Koufax for the end. Koufax. Okay, so what was the order? Does anyone remember? Okay. It doesn't matter. So if you're first, just make sure you get an aliyah. If your favorite Dodger is Duke Snyder, please come on up for the first aliyah. Good, if you remember.
I remember him hitting a home run.
That's right. Folks, you're gonna be embracing, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, just go up for an aliyah.
But he's still getting the first aliyah, even though that's
Okay, well, and if you don't have a favorite Dodger, then just go with Sandy Koufax. When in doubt, Sandy Koufax. Okay, Cheryl, you don't have a Dodger, go with Sandy Koufax.
They had a pitcher and a catcher who were brothers and were Jewish. Larry Sherry and Norm Sherry.
Oh, I know him, Sherry. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll have a discussion about this while at Kiddush, but we're not allowed to have Kiddush, so we'll have a discussion about this next year. All right. The first aliyah.
Okay. ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. הכל הבו גודל אלוהינו כבוד לתורה יעמדו ראשון ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום.
Page 1202.
ברכו את אדוני יברך.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Bo'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kibacharbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai notein haTorah. Amen. Vezot habracha. אשר ברך משה, איש האלוהים את בני ישראל לפני מותו. ויאמר אדוני מסיני בא, וזרח משעיר למו, הופיע מהר פרן, ועתה מרבבות קודש, מימינו אשתד למו. אף חובב עמים כל קדושיו בידיך, והם תוכו לרגליך, יישא מדברתך. תורה ציווה לנו משה, מורשה קהילת יעקב, ויהי בישורון מלך, בהתאסף ראשי עם יחד שבטי ישראל. יחי ראובן ועל ימות, ויהי מיטב מספר, וזאת ליהודה ליאמר שמע אדוני כל יהודה ואל עמו תביאנו ידיו רב לו בעזר מצריו תהיה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, your second aliyah. Now remember, there's 5 aliyot. You got to get in one of these. So if you don't have a favorite dodger like I don't, you got to fake it, okay? So your second choice now is Jackie Robinson. If Jackie Robinson is your favorite dodger, come up for the second aliyah.
And favorite Bruin.
And the UCLA Bruin. It's like the 2 challahs on Shabbos. You get both.
Alongside in Pasadena. Alongside of the tracks.
Yamdu Sheni.
Yeah, Ernie, just hold on.
1, 2, 3.
Baruch hu et Adonai hambarach. Baruch Adonai hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ulelevi amar tumecha ve'urecha leish chasidecha asher nisito b'masa terivehu al mei meriva haomer le'avivu limol or yitiv v'et echav lo hikir v'et panav lo yada ki shamru imratecha uvritcha yinsoru Yoru mishpatecha leYakov v'toratcha leYisrael yasimu ketorah be'apecha v'chalil al mizpachecha barech Adonai chelo ufo al yadav tirtzeh machatz matnayim kamav umisanav min yikumun levinyamin amar yedid Adonai yishkon levetach alav chofef alav kol hayom Uvein ketefav shachem.
Just watch your step or your right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So a small request now. When you have the aliyah, instead of staying up there for the next aliyah, we're going to ask that you go sit down. It's a very tight space, and we don't want anyone to have a mishap. Okay, so now you're going to have 3 options. You got to get in. I'm curious as to which one Rabbi Yarkin is going to choose, being the Brit's love of baseball. And exactly. So here are your options, Rabbi Yarkin. You could either choose, coming up, we have an aliyah for Fernando Valenzuela. And, 1981 World Series MVP, if I'm not mistaken. And then the second option is Oral Hershiser, 1988 World Series MVP. And then the last option is Sandy Koufax, all-time best baseball player ever. And he's a Jew, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so this aliyah is Fernando Valenzuela.
That aliyah is going to be on page 1205, verse 13.
You're gonna go with Koufax, right?
Yamdu Shlishi.
Or you could blow a kiss, either way.
Baruch Adonai Amarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Amorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'char banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen. Uli Yosef Amar, Mevorechet Adonai Artso, Mimeged Shamayim Ital, Umidhom Rovetzet Tachat, Umimeged Tevuot Shamesh, Umimeged Geresh Yerachim, Umirosh Harei Kedem, Umimeged Givot Olam, Umimeged Eretz Umloa, Uretzon Shochnisneh, Tavota l'rosh Yosef ulekadkod nazir echav b'chor shoro hadar lo v'karnei re'em karnav bahem amim yenagach yachdav afsei aretz v'hem rivavot Ephraim v'hem alfei Menashe.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten HaTorah.
Amen. Again, now you have 2 aliyot left before there is the Chatan Torah, where we finish Devarim, and then the Chatan Bereshit, or the Kalat Bereshit, when we begin Genesis. So, for the 4th aliyah, if you are, this is my arch nemesis when I was a child, Oral Hershiser, come on up for the, I'm not over, Game 6 when Mike Scioscia hit that home run off of Gooden. You guys remember that? Yeah, you remember it. Your face was a little different than mine. Okay, come on up for the 4th aliyah. For real is my arch enemy. I mean, he seems like a real mensch, but I don't, you know. Sure, or David Beckham to make your.
Yam Durli.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Olam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. V'lizvulun amar, semach zevulun b'tzeitecha, v'yisachar b'ohalecha. Amim har yikra'u, sham yisbechu zivchei tzedek, ki shefa yamim yinaku, usfunei temunei chol. Ulegad amar, baruch marchiv gad, Kilavi shachen v'taraf zroa av kadkod vayar reshit lo kisham chelkat mechalkek safun vayete rashayam tzidkat Adonai asa umishpatav im Yisrael.
No, you got to read the one where it's rolled, because otherwise it's in the wrong spot.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet, V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. All right, folks, this is the moment you waited for. If you have not yet had an aliyah and you like the Jewish people, it is the next aliyah, the 5th aliyah, the penultimate aliyah in the book of Devarim, is none other than Sandy Koufax. You just gotta.
You brought your own.
Okay, can we get a page number? Because I don't even have a Chumash with it. It's right at the end. Just a few lines from the end of Devarim. What page? 22.
Page 1208.
1208, verse 22. If you're at home and you like Sandy Koufax, l'chaim.
Okay. Ya'amdu chamishi. Baruch Adonai Baruch. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Uledan amar dan gur aryeh yezanek min habashan. Ule Naftali amar Naftali savaratzon umale birkat Adonai yam v'darom yirasha. Ula asher amar baruch mibanim asher yehi ritzuyecha v'tovel b'Hashem en raglo. Barzel unechoshet min alecha uchyamecha davecha. Ein kael yeshurun rocheb shamayim bezrecha uvegavato shechakim. Torah demet. Mashmo.
Amen. Yesher koach to all the Sandy Koufax supporters out there. Now, this is the Chatan Torah, or the Kalat Torah, which means it's the end of the book of Devarim. So when we finish the book of Devarim at the end, we'll actually rise for the whole Aliyah. And what we'll do is do the Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek when Saul finishes the Sefer. Okay, so for that, I've been told I don't want to be culturally skewed to one sport, and I want to be trans-continental. So for the in the spirit of Jerome's suggestion, I don't know any soccer players other than Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso. So if you're fans of Ted, and how can you not be a friend of Ted Lasso? Then come on up for Chatan Torah. Or if you like soccer, or if you haven't had an aliyah, or if you're still in your chair, come on up for Chatan Torah.
Talia wants to come again. Come on up.
Amod, 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 Lechatan Torah, or Kalat Torah.
Kalat Torah, yeah.
Anybody who's ever watched anything on television,
But
nobody watches television.
Yeah.
If you've had an aliyah already, you're welcome to come up. Ted Lasso fans or anything else. I've just watched the first episode myself. Chatan v'kalat Torah. 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et Adonai. Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We on verse 27. Verse 27.
Me'ona Elohei kedem umitachat zrot olam vayigaresh mipanecha oyev vayomer hashmed vayishkon Yisrael betach v'vadaden Yaakov el eretz dagan v'tirosh af shamav yarfutal ashrecha Yisrael michamocha. Amno Shabbatonai, Magen Ezrecha, V'yasher Cherev Gavatecha, V'yikachashu Oivecha Lach, V'yata al bamotemo tidroch. V'yal Moshe me'arvot Moav el har Nevo, Rosh hapiska asher al penei Yerecho, V'yarehu Adonai et kol haaretz et hagilad Adan. Ve'et kol Naftali ve'et eretz Ephraim u'Menashe ve'et kol eretz Yehuda ad hayam hacharon ve'et hanegev ve'et hakikar bikat Yerecho Irhat Marim Ad Soar. Vayomer Adonai Elav, Zot Haaretz, Asher Nishbati L'Avraham Litzchak Yaakov Lemor, Lazaracha Etnena, Heriticha Beinecha, Veshama Lo Tavor. Vayamat Sham Moshe Ben Adonai Be'eretz Moav Al Pi Adonai. Vayikbor oto v'gai be'eretz Moav mul beit Por v'lo yada ish et kavurato ad hayom hazeh u'Moshe ben 120 shana b'moto lo chata eno v'lo nas lecho vayivku b'nei Yisrael et Moshe Be'arvot Moav 30 yom, vayitmu yemei bechi evel Moshe, v'Hoshua bin Nun, malei ruach chachma, ki samach Moshe et yadav alav, vayishmu elav b'nei Yisrael v'yasu kasher, tziva Adonai et Moshe. V'lo kam navi'od b'Yisrael k'Moshe asher yida'o Adonai panim el panim l'chol ha'otzot v'hamoftim asher shalacho Adonai la'asot be'eretz Mitzrayim leFaro u'lechol avadav u'lechol artso. Ulechol hayad hachazaka, ulechol hamora hagadol, asher asa Moshe leinei kol Yisrael.
Chazak, chazak, v'nid chazek.
Chazak, chazak, v'nid chazek.
Amen.
I think we have to put the second one.
Lifting and wrapping.
Cheryl.
Cheryl's right here. So let's put that down.
I'm going to put the second one here.
And then lifting and wrapping. Are you okay, Jim? Jim, you're okay? Do you want to just take a second? Are you okay? Okay. Okay. All right, so he's okay, but we're going to remain standing for the lifting and wrapping of the first Sefer Torah.
We need somebody with a very strong right arm.
I think we got Adam.
Hagba?
Yes.
Yamdu Amagbiya ve'agolel.
So where is he going? Is he going right there to that
Right
chair?
there's a chair, right here.
Careful for the,
Yeah, you just have to be careful of this. Yep. V'zot ha'Torah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. La 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 la. Mel, go on the other side.
We all have dots on our tongue. Tongues have dots.
Lie, lie, lie,
I have a mustache, man. Look.
lie. Lie, 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 lie.
Ask you, do I read this and then the congregation repeats it, or do I wait for them to say it? Can I read it?
Vayir Vayivoker. Just Vayir Vayivoker.
So should I say it first?
Vayir Vayivoker.
I'll say it first. And four columns is too much.
I'm not sure we're supposed to look. Why don't you? I'm not sure whether it's number. All right.
Yeah, if you don't
We can please now wait till the Torah is replaced, and then we
there a
can
yod that
be
went with that?
seated.
The yod that went with that?
Okay.
The yod that-
And now, I don't have the exact page, but it's right around page 1.
Is there a yod on this one?
It's on page 3.
Okay, so the people we call up for the beginning of the Torah are called Chatan or Kala or Chatanim or Kala, whatever, Breshit. And if you look with me on page 407, there's a special way to call them up. Actually, there was a special way on page 406 to call up the last Aliyah too, but I just skipped it. So you use actually a tune that we hear on Shavuot, and it's the same tune we use for this calling up of these people. So I'm going to start, and then I'm going to tell you who I'm calling up, who we're going to honor with the beginning of this Aliyah. It starts like this. Mershut miromam al kol bracha v'shira, nora al kol tehila v'zimra, chacham leva v'amitz koach ugvura, umoshel olam adon kol yetzira, with the permission of the one exalted beyond all song and adoration, awe-inspiring beyond all praise and acclamation, wise and courageous in victory, the ruler of the world and the master of creation, with the permission of this righteous, joyous congregation, gathered here for Simchat Torah, assembled to both complete and begin again the reading of the Torah with joy and awe. I affirm that all the assembled concur in choosing you. You'll see who, by beginning this sacred mitzvah, how goodly is your portion and how ample your reward. Amod, 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 Gary and Jim, for this particular aliyah. We'd like to honor Jim as our religious, Vice President of Religious Life. I got that name right. Who works hard all the time on high holidays and everything between the high holidays. That means all the time, all year long. And who has been instrumental in helping. For example, just yesterday, he and I stayed and moved Torahs and changed covers, and he's involved in everything. And Gary, who has been instrumental for so many years, I can't remember how many, in high holidays and religious life and everything else that you can possibly imagine. Amod, Amod, Amod. Jim, your name in Hebrew is Yaakov ben Eliezer V'Yona Ve'Yaakov. Yaakov? Yaakov? Ah, Yaakov ben Fishel, V'Chanabatya, Chatanim Bereshit bara, Sisu v'Simchu b'Simchat Torah, Utnu kavod la Torah.
I have to tell you,
Well, you have to.
two with Yaakov, it sounds like a sequel to Chinatown. Two Jakes.
Jake and Jake. Okay. So come on up, gentlemen, for Chatan Breshit.
Okay, you can't miss it.
Here, wait a second.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
It's not quite at the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning is right here.
It's a very good place to
Oh, it just got, there it is. There's the beginning. Sing into the mic.
Baruchu Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Asher barak mikonu to. Atah b'toheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein Torah.
Amen. Excuse me a moment. Have to get the microphone back where it's supposed to be.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Ve'haaretz haitza tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov, vayabdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshech. Vayikra Elohim laor yom velachoshech kara laila, vayhir vayivoker yom echad. Vayhir vayivoker yom echad, vayomer Elohim yihi rakia b'toch hamayim, v'hi mabdil ben mayim lamayim. Vayas Elohim et harakia, vayabdel ben hamayim, asher mitachad l'rakia, uvein hamayim, asher me'al l'rakia, vayehi chen. Vayikra Elohim l'rakia shamayim vayhir vayivoker yom sheni.
Ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 vayir vayivoker yom sheni.
Vayhir vayivoker yom sheni. Vayomer Elohim yikavu hamayim mitachad hashamayim el makom echad v'teira'eh hayabasha vayehi chen. Vayikra Elohim le'yabasha eretz u'mikveh hamayim kara yamim vayar Elohim ki tov. Vayomer Elohim tadshe haaretz deshe esev mazriya zera eitz peri osefri lemino asher zarovo al haaretz vayehi chen vatotze haaretz deshe esev mazriya zera leminehu V'yetz osefri asher zarovo leminehu vayar Elohim ki tov vayhir vayivoker yom shlishi.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 vayir vayivoker yom shlishi.
Vayhir vayivoker yom shlishi. Vayomer Elohim yehi meorot birkia hashamayim lehavdil ben hayom uvein halayla v'hayu leotot ulemoadim uleyamim v'shanim v'hayu limorot birkia hashamayim lehair al haaretz vayehi chen vayas Elohim et shnei hamorot hagadolim et hamaor hagadol lememshelet hayom, ve'et hamaor hakaton lememshelet halayla, ve'et hakochavim, vayiten otam Elohim birkia hashamayim, lehair al haaretz, ve'limshol bayom uvalayla, ulehavdil, ben haor uvein hachoshech, Vayar Elohim ki tov, vayhir vayivoker yom revi.
La 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 Vayir vayvoker Yom Revi'i.
Vayher vayvoker Yom Revi. Vayomer Elohim Yishvitzu Hamayim Sheretz Nefesh Chaya V'yof Yofef Al Haaretz Al Pnei Reki HaShamayim Vayivra Elohim Et HaTaninim HaGadolim Ve'et Kol Nefesh HaChaya HaRomeset Asher Shartzu Hamayim Leminehem Ve'et Kol Of Kanaf Leminehu Vayar Elohim Kitov Vayivarech Otam Elohim Lemor Peru Urvu Umilu Et Hamayim Bayamim Ve'haov Yirev Ba'aretz Vayher Vayivoker Yom Chamishi.
Yai la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la la besimchat Torah. Vayir vayvoker Yom Chamishi.
Vayher Vayivoker Yom Chamishi. Vayomer Elohim Totzeha Haaretz Nefesh Chaya Lemina Behema Varemes V'chayto Eretz Lemina Vayichen Vayas Elohim Et Chayat Haaretz Lemina V'et HaBehema Lemina V'et Kol Remes Ha'adama Leminehu Vayar Elohim Kitov Vayomer Elohim Nase Adam Betzalmenu Kidmutenu Ve'yirdu V'idgad Hayam Uva'of HaShamayim Uva'behema V'chol Haaretz Uva'chol Haremes Haremes Al Haaretz Vayivra Elohim Et Ha'adam Betzalmo Betzelem Elohim Bara Oto Zachar Unekeva Bara Otam Vayivarech Otam Elohim Vayomer Lahem Elohim Peru Urvu Umilu Et Haaretz V'chivshuha Urdu V'idgat Hayam Uva'of HaShamayim Uv'chol Chaya Haromeset Al Haaretz Vayomer Elohim Hine Natati Lachem Et Kol Esev Zorea Zara Asher Al Panei Chol Haaretz Ve'et Kol Ha'etz Asher Bo Fri'etz Zorea Zara Lachem Yeh Liachwa Ulechol Chayat Haaretz Ulchol Of HaShamayim Ulchol Rameis Al Haaretz Asher Bo Nefesh Chaya Et Kol Yerek Esev Leachla Vayihi Chen Vayar Elohim Et Kol Asher Asa Vehine Tov Mod Vayher Vayivoker Yom HaShishi.
Yai la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Vayir vayvoker Yom HaShishi.
Vayher Vayivoker Yom HaShishi. Vayechulu Hashamayim V'haaretz V'chol Tzivam. Vayechal Elohim Bayom HaShvi'i Malachto Asher Asa. Vayishpot Bayom HaShvi'i Mikol Malachto Asher Asa. Vayivarech Elohim Et Yom HaShvi'i Vayikadesh Oto. Ki bo Shabbat Mikol Malachto Asher bara Elohim lasot.
Shemo. Amen. Yasher Koach to our Yaakov and, Yasher Koach? Yasher Koach, Saul. Yasher Koach to Yaakov and Yaakov, Jake and Jake. We're going to cover that Torah. We're going to put the third Torah on the table. That was another tune that we used to sing. Bum ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Yum ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Vayhir, vayvoker, whatever the day was. Yikara, v'yikara shemei rabba, v'yamad yivrachi rutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, u'vizman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yeshmei rabba mevorach, li'olam li'omei omaya, yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yitbar minaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, b'richu li'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yama, v'yimeru, amen. Who's got a really strong left hand, Stephen Fox? Okay, Yamod. Hamagbia. I guess, Tucker, you're going up as Golel. Yamora Golel es Sefer. Sheni bevakasha lakum. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei v'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yam param 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 param. Yam param 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 para para param param para yam param 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 para ya la 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 yam para yaram param param yam param 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 para yam param 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 pam pam param. Stephen, would you be so kind as to hold that Torah when you're done? Holding the Torah? Yes. Thank you. And Stephen will take this back to his seat. I'm going to announce before you all sit down that the maftir will be found on page 936, just like yesterday. 936, verse 35. That's the wrong silver. That's the silver over there. Yep. And these are the crowns for it. We mustn't confuse the cantor. That would be too difficult. Have to straighten out all the silver and all the everything. Okay. And as soon as Stephen is seated, Adam is seated, we can all take a seat. Okay, now, we just had Yaakov and Yaakov. I believe we have Yehudit and Yehudit. Am I correct? Let's hear it for all the Yehudits in the house. Ta'amodna harav. Yehudit, bat. Hadassah v'chaim. V'Yehudit, whoopsie, bat. Yehudit Kayla.
But Mordechai, Moshe, v'Bela Malka.
Yehudit Kayla, bat Mordechai Moshe, Kayla Malka. Baftir. Trust me, this is chazak. Oh, I don't know.
Grammar.
Page 936, verse 35.
Baruch et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai.
Shema.
Notain HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayom hashmini atzeret tielachem kol melachet avodah lo tasu bikraftem olah ishereach nichoach ladonai par echad ayil echad כבשים בני שנה 7 תמימים מנחתם ונזקיהם לפרלי ולכבשים במספרם כמשפט ושעיר חטאת אחד מלבד הולדת תמיד ומנחתה ונזקה אלה תעשו לאדוני במועדיכם לבד מנדריכם ונדבותיכם לעולותיכם ולמנחותיכם ולנזקיכם ולשלמיכם. ויאמר משה אל בני ישראל ככל אשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ya'amdu. We need somebody who's strong in both arms to lift this Torah. Tucker is going to come up and do that. And Manny is going to tie the Torah. Tucker, just watch out for the chuppah. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Eitz chaim ilam machazikim ba v'tom chea meushar. Eitz chaim ilam machazikim ba v'tom chea meushar. Derachea darchei noam v'chol netivotei shalom. Derachea darchei noam v'chol netivotei shalom. Lai 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 lai. Lie, 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 lie. Then we're going to need it in there. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Just leave it. Lie, 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 lie. I think you may be seated. And before Saul gets off the bima, he deserves such a yasher koach. Koach Saul. Saul reads every year on Simchas Torah, both Erev and the day, but that's not all. Saul reads a lot during the year, and he is one of our core group of Torah readers without whom we could not get along. So Yasher Koach, really, and thank you very much. Mitoch halev. Okay. Gabaim, you may be seated.
Now we have one thing to say, though, first. And that is, this is the first Simchat Torah in 20-some-odd years where Cantor Aronoff, you have not given the Haftarah.
That's true.
And you regaled us with very entertaining yet sincere chanting of it. And the Nusach ranged from the UCLA fight song to show tunes to high holidays. It was awesome. And whatever disappointment we have in not seeing it, I look forward in what's happening next.
And I have to say that before that, we're going to do a quick Misha Berach, but I have to say that while, it took hours to prepare, right? Doesn't it take a long time to prepare? It takes hours to prepare something like this, but I loved it. I really loved it, and a little bit of me misses it, and a little bit more of me is so grateful to you for doing this. I can't even tell you.
You haven't heard it yet. It could be terrible.
That's true. But in any case, I have faith in the Yehudits behind me.
And it went back before you were even the cantor here.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It was my pre-cantor days I even did it. That was.
I will also add, as someone who saw the sausage being made,
Oi.
It was a work of love always, and in particular, one of the things during the heyday of the rabbi's plays that Judy would make sure to include tunes from the upcoming play of that particular year. And although we've had Moshe and Lois here plenty of times, this happens to be one time when they were unable to attend, but I always love to look back at Moshe's face with a smile where the show hadn't come out yet, and Judy was already presaging it. And if you go back further, when our girls were little, they also jumped in with several other kids to tie up the cantor, or even before she was cantor, as Jim has pointed out. And so we've had a lot
Tie
of fun.
up my tzitzit
on
to the chuppah poles is what he meant to say.
That's right. And so, although it's been a lot of fun, it's also fun to see the continuity, because the main thing is that we keep it with the same first name in Hebrew for the people doing it. From Yehudi, Liyehudi.
That means, Joette, you're
Liyehudi.
next.
Kol hakavod, toda rabah, Judy.
Toda rabba lachem. Okay, we're going to do now a Misha Berach now for a moment, but between the happiness of reading Torah and the levity of the maftir, we do need to acknowledge that we need to make a Misha Berach for some people in the community. So if you have a name to add, please rise. If you're online, please add it however you can. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imotenu Sarah v'Rachel v'Leah Hu Yavarech v'Yirapeh et Kol HaCholim. Tamar bat Miriam, Ethel bat Chana, Chaim Shmuel ben Miriam, Shlomo Eliyahu Alevi ben Bluma, Ber Dov Alevi ben Bluma, Zachariah Reuven Alevi ben Shoshana, Robert Cohen, Mark Friedman, Yenta bat Rachel Chava Devora, Rachel Leah bat Freil Chaya, Rachel Chia bat Rachel, Julie Gordon, Cecil ben Gold, Yechanuch ben Cecilia, Lois Kaplan, Eliyahu ben Golda, Malka bat Miriam, David Cohen, Rachel Smukler Finkenthal, Mordechai Moshe ben Ruth, Miriam Devora bat Yudit, Miriam bat Fisher Meir Ufegele, Charles Tarlo Jr., bat Yalea bat Herschel, Shendel bat Chana, Shimshon ben Shimshon v'Karen, Hinda bat Chana Rivka, Barbara bat Devora, Aaron ben Chana v'Yosef, Yoshua Shmuel, Benjamin ben Rivka Tanya, Tova bat Dina, Tzipora Alexandra bat Sarah Devora Bracha, Leah bat Ida v'Heschel, Sarah Devora Bracha bat Eliyahu v'Tzipora, Shlomo ben Yisrael Avram v'Shena Golda, Aviva bet Avraham, Rita Weber, Elisa ben Magagna, Avram ben Sheva, Chaya Avram ben Nechama, Badana bat Yocheved, Eliezer Chanuch ben Chaviva, Chaim Le ben Simcha Yones, Harav Tzivia Chana bat Yerachmiel Yosef v'Sara, Lida bat Bracha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimale. Oh, did you have a name to add? HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimale Rachamim Aleim Lachzikam L'Rapotam V'Yishlach Lahem Meheira U'Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim U'Refuat HaNefesh U'Refuat HaGuf B'toch Shar Cholei U'Cholim V'Chazek Et Yed Uskim B'Tzorchehem Shabbat Hi Milizok U'Refuah Krova Lavo Hashta Bagala U'Vizman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. May they all experience a complete and speedy recovery, and we say Amen. So the Haftorah can be found on page 1267 or not. And I'm going to go sit down. You ready? Ready? Chair.
Chag Sameach, Boker Tov, and every other thing that happens to make sense in this particular moment. We are two traveling entertainers coming from beyond the Jordan, and together we are
Beret Sheet.
Hi-oh! Thank you, that's all. We're actually done now. and we bring to you the story of he who succeeded Moshe Rabbeinu.
And we are actually especially blessed because Yahweh's self, is going to grace us with a verse or two, and we will also get to meet Joshua ben Nun. So, round of applause for the Almighty and the leader of the Jewish people.
Wait, Yahweh?
Yahweh.
No way.
Yahweh, yeah.
Yahweh? No
Yah.
Way. Our story begins. Way, way back many centuries ago, just days after the Torah did end, Joshua rose as our brand new leader to bring us into the promised land.
Joshua ben Nun was promised success if he'd listen to God. Joshua ben Nun to lead as our Rosh with an outstretched yad.
Joshua ben Nun.
Lift up your head. Lead us through the Jordan. Here, take my guidance. Wash your troubles away. Show us Israel, clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly Yahweh is standing beside you. They will obey you like you were Moshe. Suddenly, Yahweh is here to provide you with divine inspiration. So do not despair.
All that you tell me, I will do kindly. I'll be in accordance with Torah law. I'll toe the line with you, the Almighty. You'll click your fingers and me. I'll say, sure, 'cause suddenly Yahweh is standing beside me. You give me the orders that I comprehend, 'cause suddenly Yahweh is here to provide me with land and a nation. It's God till the end.
Be strong and courageous in all that you do, and I'll never weaken my grasp upon you.
I will not stray to the left or the right. I'll cross the great river to the land of Hittites. Suddenly Joshua will lead the way now.
With strength and courage.
Suddenly Joshua,
You were a good spy.
will enter the land.
Show us you can. Jericho, watch out. We'll circle around you 7 times. The walls will come tumbling.
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 The walls will come tumbling. 'Cause Josh is our man. Do you hear the people singing the song of Yisrael? It is the music of the people whose story we live to tell. When a new leader steps up, who understands how far we've come, we are prepared to stand with you, Joshua ben Nun. We will do as you will say and go wherever you may lead. Mitzrayim is behind us. We are done with slavery. We'll obey and march knowing God is always with you. Shamati means that we have heard. Kenishma means that we will do. We will just be bound to smite the person who dares defy you. We cry Chazak ve'ematz. We're strong and pray that strength will come. This is the legacy of Rosh Joshua ben Nun. Ben Nun. Joshua ben Nun.
And we have again been
Bray sheet. Toda Rabba to Julie, aka Joshua ben Nun, and to the Almighty themselves, Rabbi Yorn. Toga to all
Toga
of
to
you.
you.
Toga
Rabba.
Rabba. That was insane. We are going to continue with the Ashrei and then put our beautiful Sefer Torahs away in the Ark.
The microphone is so sad that that's over.
It started to collapse.
Yehudit and Yehudit, that exceeded my expectations. That was fantastic. And God bless you. Oh, that was awesome. By the way, you had to pick songs that were like the hardest to sing. I mean, those are not easy songs. And you guys did amazingly. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What are we doing?
Ashrei.
Oh, okay, Ashrei. What page?
Something. It's 180 something if we want to go to the Shabbos page.
The
But
Shabbos
Ashrei is
page,
the
we know
same.
It's
wherever.
181 on Shabbos. Whatever today is, I have no idea. Okay. Ashrei Yoshvei V'techa Od Ya'alelu Chasela. I don't even know what tune I'm singing.
Slowly disrobe for your pleasure.
Tilat Adonai daber pi vivarech lo batzar shem kodsho leolam va'ed va'anachnu nivarech ya me'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah. So I think we're on 300, what? 339, 340. Thank you very much. 340. Okay, so our two Torah holders, you may stand. Jim, you can take this one. Yeah, hallelujah. Et Shem Adonai. Ki niskav Shemo levado. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim. Vayarem keren leyamo. Tila lechol chasidav. Livnei Yisrael am kirovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Uvnucho yomar. Come on up.
On page 342, Eitz Chaim Hi.
Eitz Chaim Hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomheha
Mehushar deracher har darachei nohom b'chol netivatechar shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu, Kekeh. Chatzi Kaddish and straight into our Musaf Amidah for festivals. And if you want to hear words of Torah, come back on Shabbat for Bereshit.
But you heard words of Torah.
We heard words of Haftarah.
You heard words of Haftarah, and you heard lots of Torah, and you heard Bereshit. That was great. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei rabba. B'yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachonu v'yimechonu v'chayda chol beit Yisrael b'galav v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach li'olam u'li'omei omayo yitparach. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitrum minaseh v'yitadar v'yidela v'yidela shmei dikudesha. Richu li'elam mikol berachata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata tamiran b'yolema Vimeru. Amen.
So page 343, and we'll do our Simchat Torah insertions and also Mashiv HaRuach, Umarit HaGashem.
Yeah.
We're now in our rain season.
And more rain. You may face that way since that's east, and I get to lean on the Amud. Yay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol, Hagibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Akol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Goel Ibnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morit HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechayim Eitim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'gevurot Umito Melach Melech Mimit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lachayot meitim Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hameitim Na'aritzecha v'na'akdishcha kesod siach sarfei kodesh hamagdishim shimcha ba'kodesh kakatuv al yad neviyecha v'karazel seh ve'yamar Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Meloch ol haaretz kevodo, kvodo malei olam, mishartav shoalim zeh lazeh, ayeh mekom kevodo, le'umatam baruch yomeru, baruch kevod Adonai mimekomo, mimkomo hu yifen merachamim, v'yachonam Hamiachadim Shemo Erev Vavoker B'chol Yom Tamid Pamayim Pamayim Be'ahava Shema Omrim Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav Shenit, Le'enei Kol Chai, Liot Lachem Le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adir Adirenu, Adonai Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha B'chol Haaretz, V'aya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu Adonai echad u'shemo echad, u'v'divrei kodeshecha katuv lemor, yimloch
Adonai le'olam Elohai Tzion ledor vador. Hallelujah.
Yimloch Adonai le'olam Eloi Yitzin Lador Vador. Hallelujah. Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha. Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Naktish. V'shivcha Halloween Mipino Lemush Leolam Vaed. Ki Melech Kadova Kadosh Ata Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Yitkaravi Karasheme Rabba.
Amen.
Me'amad Yivrach Yutevim Lichmagodei B'chayachonovim Mechonochai Lochaved Yisrael Ba'agalau Vizman Karivim Aru. Amen. Yeshme Rabba Bevorach. Li'olam Li'omei Omaya Yitbarach. Yitbarach. V'yishtabach V'yitpor V'yitrum Amina Sevita David Levid Elal Shmei Kudesha. Brichu Li'elam Mikol Berachatav V'shiratav Tishbchatav V'nachamatab Damirim V'mavim Aru. Amen. Titkabel Tzlot Onavat Ondocho Yisrael Kodam Avon V'yishmaya V'yimaru. Amen. Yesh Lam Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'kol Yisrael V'yimaru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'kol Yisrael V'kol Yoshvei Tevel V'yimaru.
Amen. Page 204, Ein Keloheinu.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadonenu, Michemalkeinu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Aleinu, page 205.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבו אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים השמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד כן לקבל לך. כי המלכות שלך היא עולם ימלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad.
Please be seated. Today is the 23rd of Tishrei, and we observe the yahrzeit of Sonia Tippi Kassel-Kaufman, Aryeh Lieb-Friedman, Murray Fickelson, and Anita Jarmus. And we also want to hold in our hearts and extend condolences to the family and friends of Arthur, or Art Lewinson, whose funeral was on this past Monday. And we invite all mourners, all those who are in their period of Avelut, or if you're observing the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing away of a loved one, to please say Kaddish Yatom at this time, page 207. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lolmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei de kudusha, brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, de amiran v'alma, v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning, whether in person, when you hopefully got a nice workout with the dancing, with the Torahs, or virtually, where you are hopefully able to clap along and feel some of the joy that we experienced this morning. I want to thank Cantor Aronoff hugely for yet again singing and davening her heart out with so many additional songs today. After she's run the gamut of all of the high holidays, your voice still sounded beautiful, and it was a pleasure to get to sing with you and for you to back us up on your guitar. Toda Rabba, we couldn't do it without you. It would not feel the same. And we also really want to thank all of our many Torah readers for today. Aliyah number 1 was Sol Zera. Aliyah number 2 was Sol Zera. Aliyah number 3 was Sol Zera. Aliyah number... You get the idea. We're so grateful to you, Sol. You are wonderful. Well-deserved. We also want to say todah to our Gabayim. We had so much help, as always, from Jim Lesserman and Mel Aronoff. Our Haftarah was myself and Julie. Julie had to run out, but she was absolutely so much fun to work with. Todah Rabbah to her. And Alan Altschul was our greeter. Is he here right now? Either way. Yes, he is. Right in front of me. Thank you so much. He was here so early. He showed me where services were. And that was very useful and helpful. And then just really thank you everyone for showing up. Again, I know that we've done so many celebrations and prayer moments together. And it's so lovely to get to end it with you fine people. One announcement is just that MID, as well as other adult education experiences and classes, will be resuming because it is October. So make sure you've signed up for MID. It is not very pricey, but it is so worth it. And if you can't financially make it work, speak to either any of your clergy. We will help you with that cost. Because it's such a worthwhile opportunity. We also have Torah on Tuesdays resuming again, the first Tuesday of October, and there'll be other offerings. So, yeah, if you're thirsty for some Torah studying, we've sung to the Torah so much. I want to now read her and learn more about it. So, join us. We're going to just wrap things up, really, right now. If there's anything else, Kandaranov, that I'm blanking on, apart from to say that on Shabbat, we've got Bereshit. It's about mitzvah, normal service times, normal service spaces, and it's so exciting to get to flip ye old Torah back to the beginning and start again.
Two quick things. Number one, minyan times resume as regular times tomorrow.
Nachon.
So tomorrow morning, 7:30, and our bat mitzvah will be at minyan in the morning, and evening minyans resume as usual. And if we've got 4 Torahs on the tables and 3 Torahs in the ark here, so all 7 of them need to go back that way. So if we can have 7 people to help us carry Torahs, and we can take them all to the sanctuary, and then Jim and I will divide them up where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to be covered and all of that kind of stuff. But whoever can help us carry, that would be great.
That would. And you know what, just speaking of people carrying Torahs, apologies to interrupt. I don't know if I thanked my wonderful Stephen Fox, who helped with coordinating Aliyahs, even though we then kind of overran some of those. And also Adam Goodman, you did so much Torah cuddling for us. So thank you, Adam, and Tucker as well. There was a lot of help. Everyone here in your own way did wonderful contributions, so todah. Sorry, Jerome, did you have a... up to you, my love. Up to you. And then, I think my final announcement is that Adon Olam is going to be on page 211. So
only because Julie, because Yehudit invoked one of the musicals that I love, Joseph. We're not at the Joseph story yet, since we're just beginning Breshit, but a song from Joseph for Adon Olam.
I was thinking the same thing, by the way. I was thinking of doing that tune to Adon Olam.
Which one? I was going to do...
Any Dream Will Do?
Tune. Well, that's a good idea, but I was going to do... Oh, no.
Ooh, I've never done that one before.
Adon Olam Asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra leyet nasa v'cheto kol hazay melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד, ואין שני להמשיל לו להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, פיצור חבלי בלי עת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו הפקיד, it doesn't work so well, בידו, that's better, הפקיד רוחי בעת תישן ואעירה, ואם רוחי, גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירה.
Please be upstanding for the festival Kiddush. וידבר משה את מועדי אדוני אל בני ישראל. סברי חבריי,
לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן.
Amen.
Come with me, join me at the Challah station.
Chag Sameach, everybody. Enjoy the last several hours of Yantiv.
I love what you said about beauty. That was perfect. Thank you.
This isn't as good as safest Torah, but what do you call a happy pig?
Something trace, but I'm not sure.
Chag Sameach.
Oh, sorry. Jim, that's delightful.
Yeah.
Jerome, watch your back as you lean over to pick it up. It's very hard on your back.
You know what, Jerome? Anybody, we can hand you the Torah.
Yeah, it's easier if somebody hands you the Torah.
I don't know. So please make sure that the door is open. Go to the sanctuary, make sure the door is open. Is there another Torah in here? No. Okay, thank you. Oops, sorry.
Chag Sameach, feel better.
As I said to him, he deserved that and much more. I know, that's okay. I didn't. I actually forgot that, and he reminded me and said 3 days. Hi, how you doing? Yehudit?
Yehudi, that was a plethora of Yehudit.
Yeah.
So how come the sneakers? Just for comfort?
Nobody else noticed, or I was going to say something. I'm ending the high holiday season
The way it
the
began?
way it began. It didn't
Footwear.
exactly begin. It was, but you know something? I figured Simchas Torah. I know what? I'm gonna get away with it.
Yeah, they walk.
Well, I didn't walk, but I stand
yeah,
for
of course.
hours. I
Yes, you stand
hours,
for
and-
hours. Absolutely.
And this is just so comfortable. And so I just did it.
Good.
Ta-da.
Good for you.
But yeah, it's in homage to the end of the Yamim Noraim.
Got it. Kol hakavod. Everything was wonderful.
What? All right, I'm not hearing a word. Do this and talk to me. Okay, great. Okay, good. Yeah, there's no other Torahs on the tables. That's probably Shira. Do you see Cheryl out there? Mel, this should have gone back with one of the Torahs. Take this, take my guitar stand, and take that.
Okay.